I'm a bisexual, neurodivergent, non-binary who loves...
That's literally my wife.
My entire personality is loving Corazon from One Piece, not being gay.
Okay, so you've just completely affirmed what she's saying then. I'm gay, I just happen to be married to a member of the opposite sex. Sure, bro, you're gay.
Lesbian extraordinaire who definitely doesn't let her sexuality define her personality.
Well, I had to be told not to be racist. That's not the flex you think it is, bro.
I'm homophobic. Is she making any sense?
You're a pick-me. You must be pretending you're not discriminated against.
To be as gay as flagrantly gay as possible. You are like the most lesbian that I've ever seen to be a lesbian.
He's actually drunk himself into getting a speech impediment. I'm sure he didn't have a lazy eye before.
She definitely has a tool belt. Okay, well, I guess I'm just homophobic. It's fine. People above a certain age demographic, I feel like their brains sometimes are just mush, okay?
Like, no wonder he's against this video. This whole video is about thinking for yourself.
Sorry, that's just anti-trans.
Anyway, he wants some gunten. He wants some gunten. Remember Alec Gunter, friend of the show? Alec Gunter, good friend of mine, personally. This lesbian made homophobia her entire personality. He's talking about that Finding Sky person, who I actually quite like personally. And my theory is, these people really don't like when gay people speak for themselves instead of following the status quo, which is actually very homophobic. Ooh, Femios is here. Nice. Figured out you were trans. You didn't figure out you were trans. You can't do that. You decided you were trans.
I've been hearing this lately. Being gay is not a personality trait. That is the title of this video from Finding Sky, who I believe we've covered once before. Finding Sky is a lesbian woman who, you know, is just coming out against gay people and probably trans people as well, if I had to guess. Basically, she's like one of those...
I don't think she's ever spoken about trans people. She mostly talks about things like pride and like how she differs from like gay culture, like pride becoming a orgy and shit like that.
Those anti-woke grifters who also happens to...
That cis white cuck appointed himself as spokesperson for trans and gays. Yes, very true.
Be gay and makes a living off of that because she hates herself enough that, or at least she doesn't...
Hates herself. Do you get to say this? Do you get to say this? Femios is such a freak. Yes, they wanted to debate me. They showed up in my chat once, asking me all these stupid questions about how trans women are women because that gives the word more utility or something, which is retarded, stupid. And like eventually they're trying to debate me from chat when it's like, could you not just send me a message and like, we'll set it up for this time, whatever, and just actually talk. Eventually I get to the point where I'm like, you know what, if you want me to answer your questions, you need to present a hypothetical worth actually answering. Then suddenly, these random people I'd never seen before in my chat started showing up just to like insult me one after the other. Clearly they were all like Femios' fucking little sock puppets. It was really quite pathetic. Apparently they've since been in my VC on my Discord. I think Mischief has spoken to him. Strange person. Pushing the Vorshite utility arguments, which that isn't a good argument. Like, it seems like it's got a lot of anti-utility, bearing in mind nowadays you've got men and women's sports and all these arguments about women's spaces and stuff. Kind of seems like using the word woman in that way has more anti-utility than it does utility. So all of that shit I think is bollocks. It's all of this, well, do you think words should be descriptive or prescriptive? And it's like, I don't fucking care, bro. You're still a man. But anyway.
Doesn't love herself enough that she's worth selling her soul for a...
So if you don't have certain opinions, you don't love yourself. Gunter spoke too much about putting a dildo up Larryx's ass. Yeah, it was something like that. Wanting this like then 18-year-old to like put on a dress and stuff. Very strange. Oh yeah, sorry, we're dead naming Liam Donovan. We're dead naming Lomi Bear.
For a few bucks, so you know. Finding Sky, being gay.
Okay, I'm primed to hate this person now. Is there no way at all that this person could be giving their honest opinion? Oh, okay, so if you don't have the correct opinion for Alec Gunter, you hate yourself? You're not even gay, bro.
Gay is not a personality trait. Let's take a look.
Being gay is not a personality trait. I don't know when you decided that what gender you want to sleep with or appear as is what makes you interesting.
She acts like I almost misgendered her. Like she acts like
I don't think Lomi Bear is trans. Alec Gunter wants Lomi Bear to become trans, though.
Boys, you know what I mean? Like it feels like very overdone to me. Like, listen, I don't want to be like...
You've watched 6 seconds of the video and it feels very overdone.
Me. Like, listen, I don't want to be lesbophobic or anything, but I'm just saying.
Because it doesn't. I would hope that there are other aspects of my character more deserving of attention than my love for big booty Latinas. Is it just me, or is reducing the entirety of your persona down to something equally as trivial as what your favorite...
Like, if it weren't for the fact that I know she's a grown woman, I would almost think that she's like a teenage dude. You know what I mean? Like, is that sexist to me? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's very odd.
Color is
so many lesbians are boys. Okay, well, I guess I'm just homophobic.
Lame.
It's fine.
Yeah, we know, Alec. We know, it's fine. You already proved that in, like, the start of this video. Someone in the fucking chat is saying Aunt Tom.
I have a hard time believing that anyone who has...
So not only are you a homophobe, you have, like, a community of homophobes. That's very nice.
Something actually substantial about their character would put such an emphasis on something as irrelevant as their sexuality. Being human, their character would put such an emphasis on something as irrelevant as their sexuality. Being human,
that's literally what everybody around them does, and their reaction to that is to be as gay as flagrant.
When you say it out loud, doesn't that sound a bit silly? Well, why are you basing your personality on what other people are saying? Like, listen, just because you're doing the opposite of what everyone's saying, instead of doing the same as what everyone else is saying, that's still you being controlled by other people. Wouldn't the answer to be to not listen to other people and just do what makes you happy? Like, it sounds very silly what you're saying when you say it out loud. I hope you understand this.
Flagrantly gay as possible sometimes. Like,
he is, like, so stoned. I know he gets high before his streams. It's not a good idea. I don't recommend. Listen, if you want to become a streamer, I don't recommend smoking before you stream. It's not a good idea.
It's a natural reaction when you're told.
Like, he's either stoned or, like, drunk. Why does Alec try to give off the I don't care vibe? It's definitely partly because he's, like, inebriated. The other thing is, like, BreadTube, there's this kind of disaffected thing. If you watch someone like Noah Samson, they always talk in this, like, flat monotone where it's like they just woke up and got out of bed or some shit.
Told that you're not allowed to do something is you want to do it more, okay? Like, it's common sense.
No, that's not common sense. That's being controlled by other people, but in a defiant way. The true common sense is, well, people think I should be like this, but I decide my own actions, so I'm just going to do what I want to do and fuck those people. That's the common sense thing.
Man, come on.
Like, people have given me shit for being, like, effeminate before. I don't do effeminacy more because they say that I shouldn't. I just do what I want regardless.
Beautiful disaster. It's an infinite ocean of chaos, uncertainty, and self-discovery. A crashing tsunami of vitality, mayhem, and free will. But instead, you chose to sit on a kid.
She definitely has a tool belt. That's pretty true.
People in the sand. For those of us who grew up on the internet, the algorithm told...
I think I understand what she's saying there as well. It's like, some people discover they're gay or whatever, and it's like that kind of takes over their whole life instead of that just being a part of them and continuing to self-discover. I think that's what she's trying to say.
Told you who you mayhem and...
I definitely see that in the trans community. You discover you're trans and now that's the be-all and end-all. It seems like your personal development stops there. And like who you are separate to what you now identify as is difficult to determine, you know?
Free will, but instead...
Okay, you say that life is like a tsunami of mayhem and free will or whatever, but like part of that is struggling with homosexuality. You know this. Why am I explaining this to you?
What's he even saying?
You know this. You're a lesbian.
What is he even saying? He doesn't understand a word she's saying, does he? It's quite a basic point. You discover you're gay. You just kind of sit there in that gayness and don't really discover anything more about yourself, is what she seems to be saying. I don't know if I can name people that I think are like that, but apparently she does. I don't know. But you can't engage with that. You're just like, oh, well, you already know this. You're like, well, yeah, she already knows. That's why she's... Oh, fuck me, bro. He's so stupid. He's so fucking dumb.
Mayhem and free will, but instead...
I don't know why they're doing the close-ups, because, like, he looks hammered. Like, I'm sorry. There is no way he is not on substances. Look at this shit. Look at him and listen to him. What the fuck is going on?
Okay, you say that life is like a tsunami of mayhem and free will or whatever, but like part of that is struggling with homosexuality. You know this. Why am I explaining this to you? You know this. You're a lesbian. Of course you know this. What, like, you cannot tell me that you face zero discrimination.
What is she talking? When did she say whether she's faced discrimination or not? That's not what she's talking about, bro. Is that what happens? You don't understand. You don't understand what the fuck she's talking about. So your answer is, oh, I know, I'll just bring up discrimination. You're a pick-me. You must be pretending you're not discriminated against. Look how fucked he is. Every time I press, like, one way or another. One of his eyes is, like, not as open as the other. I'm sure he didn't have a lazy eye before. I'm sure he didn't used to look like this. Something has gone really fucking wrong.
Like, you cannot tell me that you face zero discrimination, okay? In my understanding, lesbians tend to not get it quite as much as gay men. I could be wrong.
Oh, even his editor's getting in. So we've got comparing who's, wrong who's, more oppressed, there's two P's in oppressed, is kind of beside the point. I mean, I think I know what he's saying, to be fair. Like, if he's actually following his own logic, he shouldn't really be saying stuff like this. Like, gender non-conforming guys tend to be side-eyed a bit more than gender non-conforming women. But at the same time, women's rights aren't quite up there with men's rights in some ways. And in many ways that they are up there with men's rights. It's quite recent, you know what I mean?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to be homophobic, but like maybe you like get less of it, but like lesbians still experience discrimination on a broad scale, and sometimes in far worse ways than gay men do. You know, like it's still like something that is not to be discounted when it comes to somebody's like life experience. You know what I mean? Like being a lesbian shapes.
What was she even saying to spark this rant? What is he talking about? Yeah, he's so far off topic.
Somebody's like life experience, you know what I mean? Like being a lesbian shapes you in so many different ways, from not even just from the discrimination you face, but just like it's a different experience, you know, like it can be.
All this is true, but like I think what she's trying to say is more like your sexuality is just one part of you. Like if you're a woman that likes football, you could be straight or lesbian. If you're a woman that likes to paint, you might be straight or a lesbian. You might be anything. And I think she's trying to say that some people seem to land on their identity as being a gay person and don't like discover more about themselves and don't really fill in the gaps. But it's not really engaging in any meaningful way. Like, yeah, it informs who you are to an extent. But to a lot of people, it's literally just who you want to fuck. And all the stuff that you like, all the stuff that you do, all the things that make you yourself and not someone else. They really aren't about your sexuality. They're about you as a whole. If you're a lesbian and you enjoy playing football and you work at McDonald's, most of your experiences are kind of very similar to like straight people's. It informs your experiences, but it really doesn't make you that much different to the average woman. I'm sorry. Did I agree with him earlier? I've changed my mind. This is so stupid. He's a retard.
Than most people's. Like that's an integral part of your life. I don't understand this whole like being gay is a personality trait. Like you are gay. You're underselling your own gayness. Like you're selling it for a pence and a half and a.
No, she's saying it doesn't inform her personality. Oh my god. Surely the whole point of things like pride and like gay rights was like, hey, we're just normal people like the rest of you. We just happen to want to have sex with members of our same sex. Like, it really doesn't make you any kind of specific person, ultimately.
A bottle of milk or whatever. Like, it's cheap. It's cheap. You're a cheap person.
Instead, you chose to sit on a kiddie pool and...
It's just super judgmental over, like, nothing. He's watched, like, 40 seconds of this video, and that's the kind of conclusion he's coming to. He just concludes on these people so fucking hard for, like, no reason.
Chose to sit on a kiddie pool in the sand. For those of us who grew up on the internet, the algorithm told you who you are before experience ever had the chance to. It made it nearly impossible to find your honest identity because your feed was already telling you who to be. That's why in this era, there has never been a greater...
Imagine being told you have to scream about being gay all times or you hate yourself. Yeah, it kind of seems that way. Like, he's got no horse in this race. He's not a woman. He's not a lesbian. He's not even gay.
Important.
That's literally how we all operate. Do you know how many...
That's literally how...
Why in this era, there has never been a greater importance...
That's literally how we all...
Oh my god.
Operate. Do you know how many like 50 and 60-year-olds are shaped by like 5 Facebook memes they saw on Tuesday between sips of tea. Like, it's insane.
He's like getting worse.
People above a certain age demographic, I feel like their brains sometimes are just mush, okay?
Why did he upload this? He sounds utterly munted. Yeah, I think that's more or less what she's saying, and that it's a bad thing that it works that way, and people should consider broadening their horizons and not just seeing Facebook memes or whatever and letting them determine their personality. Not just hearing what people say about gay people and think, oh, well, I should be this kind of gay person or that kind of gay person, instead of just being yourself and finding what makes you happy, you know? This is a very basic concept for a video, and he is not understanding like any of it.
Like, I have loved like family members and friends who are like this. Not close friends, but acquaintances who are like this, where it's like, yeah, I love them and they're good people and whatever, but like, boy, are their brains mush. You know, like, this is not
It's just an irony from this person saying that about anyone.
a gay thing. This is just like an American thing, I feel like. Or at least a modern day thing.
It's like so deep, actually. When you think about it, when you think about what Alex Gunter here is saying, it's like well deep. His brain is mush. Yeah, especially today.
On introspection, to pause and contemplate what all of it means to you. The youth
Why does music sound like X-Files? Because it cool and she cool and I'm homophobic and the music is also homophobic.
importance on introspection, to pause and contemplate what all of it means to you. The youth has failed to develop the skill of introspection because of the constant emphasis on everything external, where algorithms tell you what to think and when to think it, solely dictating your ideas of right and wrong, like Newton's cradle swinging back and
What? Is she making any sense? Hold on.
Yes. She's like saying that it feels like nowadays people don't introspect. They just get all this information blasted at them. And that gets internalized instead of them really thinking for themselves and being what they might actually want to be. Because they're like encouraged to be this, that, or the other. And if you are this, that, or the other, that means you have to, within that thing, be this, that, or the other. It's like not hard, bro.
What? Is she making any sense? Hold on.
of the constant emphasis on everything external, where algorithms tell you what to think and when to think it, solely dictating your ideas of right and wrong, like Newton's cradle swinging back.
You realize people are like shaped by their experiences, right? Like shit.
Yeah, there's a difference between being shaped by experiences and literally thinking how you're told to. There's a difference between being shaped by your experiences and someone saying something on Twitter, changing your worldview or some shit.
He understands that like people don't just think shit in a vacuum.
Well, he's not dissecting every 5-second period. He knows he has to object to what she's saying because he knows that Sky is one of the bad ones. But he doesn't actually have a fucking clue what she's talking about.
Right? Yeah, people learn things and think things about the media that they consume on their phones. That's true. That's pretty true, you know?
Like, he thinks as long as he just says something in a sort of confrontational tone, then he's doing his job. He's, like, fighting back.
You know, when you think about it. And sometimes that shapes the beliefs and ideas that they have, you know? Like, if I had grown up in, like, 1950s, 1960s America, I might very well be a white supremacist because I never got exposed to, like, trans and black people and and gay people.
Why should it take someone not being exposed to trans and black and gay people in order to not be a white supremacist? Isn't that kind of saying something by itself? That he needs other people to make sure that he doesn't end up going insane. Like, no wonder he's against this video. This whole video is about thinking for yourself and not just being the stereotypes of what you are. No wonder he doesn't fucking get it.
People and understood that, like, you know, they actually are people with feelings who are just like me and want to do good things and have freedom. You know, like, I might have not understood that.
I don't think this person is able to think for himself. I think he needs all those other people around him to make sure he doesn't go off the deep end. The problem is it hasn't worked.
I'm shaped by my experiences. You know, I was lucky enough to...
shaped by your experiences. Your experiences don't make you literally everything of what you are.
Grew up conservative, but I was lucky enough to meet some people who are trans and gay.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? He doesn't know how to think for himself. He had to meet people to change his worldview. It wouldn't have happened by himself. There's no introspection here. So what he's really against here is not a gay woman criticizing other gay people. What he's against here is introspection. That's what the enemy is to this guy.
And you know, have the internet to inform me of like the existence of these people and they're normal
Well, I had to be told not to be racist. That's not the flex you think it is, bro.
people, and I became friends with a lot of them. A lot of them are in my audience, you know, like that's great. All this is to say,
Yeah, that's actually very telling because his audience is full of dipshits. They're all stupid, just like him.
we are we are products of our environment and what we observe and learn. I feel like I'm giving this way too much effort. She's so stupid. Why am I? Okay, just keep
and
going.
forth and back, and independent thought is dead. It's easier to cling to a label that somebody else has already made up for you because building your own identity with something of substance is inconvenient. It's too difficult and time consuming to find
What's he even bothered by?
your own identity with something of substance is inconvenient. It's too difficult.
Yeah, I can see why he's like not liking this very much. Because he needs everyone else to tell him how not to be a bad person. Or how to be himself. Or what the fuck ever. Whereas this person doesn't.
And time consuming to find out what you
Yeah, it all applies to him because he had to have everything explained to him by other people. No, Alec, you can't just be racist. You have to respect other people. Oh shit, I never thought of that before. Shit.
really think, so you let your algorithm decide that for you. I'll cling to a commentator's beliefs because it's easier to think vicariously through them than it is to think for myself. It's become normal to outsource.
Like, this is just true. How are you gonna like complain about that? I guess the way he wouldn't like this is that he wants people to treat him that way. He wants to be that person that people like trust with their opinions and stuff. Because he had to trust other people. So he doesn't really understand scrutinizing what other people say and making sure that it stacks up to how you feel and what your like morals are. Because he doesn't have any of his own morals.
Source all of your critical thinking as if it should have ever been somebody else's job. Being gay is not a personality trait. You've just
She's actually being roasted so hard by this video. She doesn't even know.
been
None of that had anything to do with like gayness as a personality trait. It's like, did it?
them decide that for you. I'll cling to a commentator's beliefs because it's easier to think vicariously through them than
Well, it can be applied to that, sure. If you're a gay person and you think, well, how do I be gay? And then you watch a bunch of YouTubers. Oh, that's how I become gay. Okay. That might be the kind of thing she's referring to. This is quite broad, sure. But it can be applied to that, sure.
than it is to think for my
That's literally what conservatives do. Like my dad hangs on like every word of like
Okay, so conservatives, aka your dad. Okay, so one conservative. Wow.
Jesse Waters and shit. Like it's
Mate, as if no one hangs on to like every word that Vosh or Destiny or Hassan says. As if people like me didn't spend too much of their lives hanging on to every word that someone like ContraPoints says. You know what I mean? Like, I'm at least honest enough that I can say that, yeah, I used to be like this. He doesn't even know. Weren't you kind of hanging on the words of the people that convinced you that you should actually be a leftist, not a rightist?
it's disgusting actually.
Yeah, whataboutism is fine when it's these people.
Jesse Waters and shit. Like it's disgusting actually. Young men, you know, I have a brother who likes Asmongold. God forbid, right? Like it's
I don't even know that they hang on every word of theirs anyway.
rough out there, man. I don't think you understand just how much like this is more a product of like raw, disgusting conservatism.
This is stupid. People on all sides of the aisle do this. People on all sides of the aisle want to be more informed about stuff, but don't maybe have the time to spend looking into all these things, researching all these things. So they watch content creators who either do that research and talk about this kind of stuff, or at the very least put on a facade of researching all this stuff and knowing all this stuff. That's a very common thing. It's definitely not a conservative thing. It's a people thing.
Than it is like progressivism.
Like, why the fuck do you think BreadTube existed, if not for this very reason?
to a commentator's beliefs because it's easier
She's not even talking about like conservatives or like progressives, you know?
to think vicariously through them than it is to think for myself. It's become normal to outsource all of your critical thinking.
This shit sounds like she went to AI and asked to make the script sound smart. That's true. That's true. She's like, hey, ChatGPT, write me up a script.
Even his jokes come from like other people.
Write me up a homophobic script, but make it sound like I'm lesbian.
Yeah, what does he think his chat is doing right now? Come on. What does he think these people are doing? Seeing as how like they're literally hearing a very drunk man make no sense whatsoever, and they're still like shouting him out and building him up and stuff. Okay, this person has absolutely no idea what they're talking about or what the original video. That's the other problem. Some of these people, if they just watch the original video, they might understand it. They might come away at least understanding what this person's saying, even if they don't agree. Someone like Alec is making people stupider.
You know, like, write up a script that a lesbian would give to, like, the Republican senators as to why, like, she deserves to be married, but nobody around
Has she made a single reference to politics yet?
her does, you know? Like, it's like, yeah, it does sound like ChatGPT.
Thinking as if it should have ever been somebody else's job. Being gay is not a personality trait. You've just been disillusioned into believing that your sexuality is what defines you. You're told that because you happen to...
You are like the most lesbian that I've ever seen to be a lesbian.
Yeah, that's pretty homophobic.
Yo, like, let's be real here. Okay, call me homophobic. I'm sorry. I've never seen
I just did.
a lesbian that has lesbianed harder than this.
Really? I mean, I'm not surprised that this person's a lesbian, but like, are they that stereotypical? I don't know about that, bro. She cut her hair off, I think she'd be more stereotypically lesbian, for example.
Being gay is not a personality trait. You've just been disillusioned into...
Asman and Hassan both work for the same agency. That doesn't surprise me. I hate all of those people. Honestly, all that like Ethan, Hassan, iDubbbz, Asmongold, all those people having pissing competitions at each other. I think they're all retards. I think they're all rich assholes throwing shit at each other and raking in the cash, slagging each other off constantly. It's such a waste of time. And so many like commentary like channels, they just like, they're itching to like line up behind one of the teams. You know what I mean? It's so pathetic. I don't like any of these fucking people.
Believing that your sexuality is what defines you. You're told that because you happen to...
You are like the most lesbian that I've ever seen to be a lesbian. Yo, like, let's be real here. Okay, call me homophobic. I'm sorry. I've never seen a lesbian that has lesbianed harder than this lesbian.
He's actually drunk himself into getting a speech impediment. I'm sure he could say his S's before.
Like, you have to be kidding me. Like, you are like lesbian prime, okay? Like, what are you talking about? You made it your whole personality to shit on other gay people with. Like,
He's getting so angry.
what? Look at you. Look at your YouTube channel.
But like, the louder he shouts, the more like drunk he sounds. It's not helping. Why is he getting pressed at her giving off lesbian energy? That's innate. And the thing she isn't going around spamming the world with shit about how much of a lesbian she is. Well, yeah, because she's got people like this to do it for him. He's unironically like reinforcing what she's saying. It's bizarre. Like, he's unironically just like doing the thing that she says she doesn't want to do. That you shouldn't like to be defined by your stereotypes. You shouldn't be forced. You shouldn't feel like you have to live up to your stereotypes. You can be what you want to be. And he's like bothered by that. Probably because being himself is like an alien concept to him. This is the kind of person, remember, that bounces from being like far right to like far left based on like what people tell him he should think.
Channel, okay? You act like your fucking Leafy was here, okay?
What?
Leafy is here. He was here. He is here anymore.
In what way?
But now you're here.
In what way is this like a Leafy video? What are you talking about?
And you're pissing me the f off, okay? Like,
why? Why are you getting angry at this? It's so bizarre.
let's be real. Whose personality is impacted by their homosexuality? Couldn't be you, right? Never you.
Yes, that's literally what she's saying, and she is trying to invite people to maybe do the same.
Like the same gender, that now you have to fit into the box of everything else that goes along with it. What's sad is that people claim that this is hateful rhetoric, despite the fact that I'm encouraging you to think for yourself and not be what others expect you to be. The original tenet of the LGBT community.
Yeah, how is he going to argue against that? That's just like obvious. If I would criticize this video, it's kind of pretty obvious a lot of the shit she's saying. You know what I mean?
Community from the very beginning has been to be okay with being different, to be free of societal expectations and not be ashamed of who you are. Independent thought is an easier commonplace,
it's
which
like,
makes it
it's like totally like not different to like be gay, you know? Like everybody these days is acting so gay all the time. I go to the grocery store and I see nothing but like drag queens and you know, dudes in short shorts with their chest hair sticking out. Personally, like that's my personal experience in Central Ohio.
Notice this lesbian made homophobia her entire personality. That's the title of the video. The only person spitting out like homophobic stereotypes is Alec Gunter. Bizarre. Interesting. Maybe don't throw stones from that glass house of yours, yeah.
Being gay is one of the most different things you can be still to this day.
Not really. I think plenty of gay people would say, no, it's just my sexuality. In many ways, I'm very normal.
Like, it's not about, like, this doesn't make any sense.
All the more valuable and necessary. The independent thinkers
Maybe
are now
she is AI
responsible for
generated.
shifting the culture to a place where different opinions are discussed instead of discouraged, where we define ourselves on the basis of our character instead of our sexuality. There are a million other things more interesting about you than who you want to sleep with or what pronouns you want to be called. Stop being so worried about how other people perceive.
But this isn't about, like, being interesting. I've never met a gay person who was like, unless there's like, okay, I take it back. I've met plenty of gay people who say they really want attention. Listen, sometimes you motherfuckers do want attention, okay? I'll concede to that. But for the most part, when it comes to just like being gay, they honestly just worry about whether or not they can get married, okay? Or like have butt sex in private with nobody like busting down the door and arresting.
I'm sorry, there is no way that gay people watch this fucking guy.
Them for sodomy, okay? Like that's what they're
Butt sex? Like, come on, bro.
worried about. Their rights to exist and have fulfilling sexual relationships just like the rest of us, okay? Like, this isn't a
I don't think gay people spend all their time thinking about whether they can get married and their right to exist at all. I think they probably spend their time thinking about the same kind of shit that most people think about. I think they probably have the same kind of life stresses as anyone else. He conceded a point she wasn't making. Yeah. He has no idea what she is talking about. He's got no idea.
a personality contest. This is a fight for the
Yeah, he's thinking about butt sex with Lomi Bear specifically. Lomi Bear in a dress.
their basic civil rights, which you know, but it's a lot more lucrative to pretend like you don't, isn't it? Disgusting wretch.
Perceive you and instead look inwards at how you choose to perceive yourself. What's scary is that it's become common to not have passions or interests.
Like the most nothing video to get like angry about. Like someone saying, hey, be yourself, don't be the stereotypes. He's like fucking flipping his lid over. Like, just, I know I have a history with Alec Gunter and I should be surprised by the way he's acting and talking. But it's like, fuck me, what is in that cup? You know what I mean? Like, and he uploaded this. Why would you upload this?
It's become normalized for people's mainstream
Unlike
hobby
me.
to be watching.
Unlike me, my passions and interests, like being homophobic, being a tool for the conservatives, that's my personal
Mate, you are literally those things.
passions and interests. I'm finding
You're the kind of leftist that conservatives point at and see, hey, y'all should stick with us because the left are fucking insane. That's you, bro. That's you.
Guy, by the way.
Netflix and doom scrolling, both of which are
Lesbian extraordinaire who definitely doesn't let her sexuality define her personality. Never her, right? She doesn't do that. You'll never catch her doing that.
You know what? If he changed tack and just started being like outwardly like bigoted and homophobic and shit, this kind of drunk, angry guy energy could probably actually kind of work, you know?
consumption activities, so they can't even be considered a hobby at all. It's just a way to pass the time instead of actually doing or creating something. This culture of constant consumption has led people to feel directionless and disconnected from their lives. It's hard to know who.
Yeah, Gun actually has a lot of like potential. Like this could be like unironically hilarious. This doesn't have to be a thing where it's like, it's funny because he's angry and retarded and doesn't understand a very basic video and is like inebriated as fuck. If he was more intelligent, he could use this energy and make something genuinely like great out of it. Instead, we have to settle for, it's because he's making a twat out of himself. Instead, we have to settle for laughing at him rather than with him. It's a shame in a way.
Who you are and what you believe when you're constantly consuming and never creating. People need a purpose to identify with, otherwise they end up turning to things like
This is a lot of, like, listen,
never creating. People
this is a lot of effort, you know?
Drunk people are well known for having the best opinions. So drunk gunt must be some kind of prophet, clearly.
True. Thank you, Caleb the Cynic, for the $5. Thank you.
Oh, like, this is more effort than I put in. I'm just being honest.
People need a purpose to identify with. Otherwise, they end up turning to things like astrology, neo-pronouns, and politics.
What? None of the... Okay. Astrology.
I mean, that was a bit of a strange one. I mean, politics, I mean, it's kind of important. Like it or love it, you know?
Just being honest.
People need a purpose to identify with. Otherwise, they end up turning to things like astrology, neo-pronouns, and politics.
Like, that there is a bit of a, like, enlightened centrist, enlightened apolitical kind of view. Like, politics is a purpose for a lot of people. Unfortunately, some of those people are people like Alec Gunter, who really have no business talking about any of those kinds of things.
What? None of the... Okay. Turning to astrology? Like, my wife is into astrology.
Yeah, but it's kind of nonsense, right? About his potential. Well, no, he's funny. Come on. He is funny.
Most people just treat us...
He's just not funny because he's, like, actually trying to be funny. He's funny because he's acting like a fool. You know what I mean? But if he repurposed his energy and actually knew what he was doing, he could actually be, like, a comedian or some shit. And with her, people pick politics as a sports team to make their personality. I guess so, yeah. Like, it's like people engage in a really shitty way, I guess, sometimes. And that I'd be inclined to agree with. I don't know. I guess the way it said it was very broad. Your wife is an idiot.
Astrology, like, it's like for fun, you know? And even if they don't, like, it's not like astrology is any stupider than Christianity. Like, you probably, like...
I mean, the church does a lot of good, no? Helps feed the homeless, gives people a purpose in life, has an actual moral code that when people live by it, the hope is that they become good people, and plenty of them do, not all of them, of course. Is it wrong to laugh at a retard? No, of course not.
Like, would sit here and tell me that, like, Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior who died and rose from the dead. Like, I'm sorry, that's just as crazy as Mars talking to you and saying you're gonna have a great day. It's the same level of crazy. You just accept one more than the other because you've submitted to your Christian brain rot upbringing. Okay, that's all that is.
With otherwise, they end up turning to things like astrology, neo-pronouns, and politics.
Unlike Christianity, which is totally reasonable.
To have very shallow.
Not even talking about Christianity, like, it's not like she's saying those three things specifically are the things you have to avoid or some shit.
Surface level identities that don't require any effort or skill. It's how you end up with the
I'm a bisexual, neurodivergent, non-binary who loves...
That's literally my wife.
Roasted. Roasted.
No! Katie! Come here! This is important. The homophobic lesbian on the screen is talking about you.
What?
I said the homophobic lesbian on the screen is talking about you.
Okay.
Watch.
Further skill. It's how you end up with the
I'm a bisexual, neurodivergent...
Oh yes, show it to her with absolutely zero context whatsoever. That's very fair, isn't it?
non-binary who loves anime.
It's like, okay.
She called you out.
Yeah, you got called out for being way too obsessed with, like, meaningless labels that have nothing to do with anything. If I go up to someone and say, hey, I'm non-binary, hey, I'm trans, hey, I'm gay or straight, does that actually tell you much about me?
Man, she said you're making being gay your whole personality.
My entire
That's not even...
personality is loving Corazon from One Piece, not being gay.
Okay, so you've just completely affirmed what she's saying then. That your personality revolves around, like, meaningless bullshit. Well done, well done. Can see why Alec, I can see how Alec saw so much in you that he married you. Well done.
The fact that I'm gay is just in addition to the fact that
Wait, now she's agreeing with the fucking video. The fact that I'm gay is just in addition. So you agree. You actually agree with the video if you were to sit and watch the whole thing and not have your drunk as fuck husband pointing little clips out at you. You know what I mean? What the fuck is wrong with this fucking guy? Now he has to take back every single thing that he said, but obviously he won't.
I love him.
Thank you. That's a valid as fuck take. Corazon.
Yeah, of course he agrees with his wife when his wife is saying, wait, she's not even gay. How can you be gay if you're with Alec Gunter? Oh, fucking no. These people are so stupid. They don't make any sense.
Is great. I'm glad that Katie liked him so much. It brings me a lot of joy. Let's get back to the grifter.
Okay, cool, but what do? Do you like to draw? Do you write kinky Wattpad stories about anime boys? I mean, at least do something. The real
She does that! Wait, she does that. She writes fanfics.
No, my wife's even more of a stereotype than you think, actually. Wow.
Excuse you, she creates art, okay? She contributes more to the earth than you do, okay?
I don't know why his wife is gay, seeing as how she's presumably a woman because she's his wife and he's a man. Unless his wife is trans, in which case actually she's his husband. In which case, yes, they are gay. I don't know.
Okay, first of all, she's a teacher, but let's take that out of the equation. Even if she just wrote fan fiction, she would still be a more valuable asset to her species than you are right now. I just want you to know that, okay?
Does anyone remember Alec? He used to make these like reaction videos to Chris Chan, where he was like clearly just as retarded and just as like autistic as Chris Chan, if not more so. And he'd play little sections of the clip and be like, well, I'm like this, but I'm still better than you. Like, it's like A-log levels of engagement at this point.
Yeah, my non-binary bisexual wife who loves anime is a greater...
Oh, one of those bisexual people that call himself gay. Oh, okay, I get it. I'm gay, I just happen to be married to a member of the opposite sex. Sure, bro, you're gay.
...contribution to society than you could ever hope to be. Shut the f*** up.
The problem I have with this
Like, unironically mad now, what the fuck? He's just lost it.
identity thing is that it robs you of the feeling of emptiness. It robs you of having the feeling of being completely...
I agree with this. I think people do often, like, indulge in this, like, identity kind of shit because there's some emptiness they're trying to fill, but it doesn't work.
lame and uninspiring. When you have all of these quirky labels to identify with, you get to fill that dark void with fake rainbows. It's like putting a band-aid over a broken
I'll have you know she's a cancer, motherfucker.
bone. But if you were forced to sit with the reality of your lack of substance without any of these fake labels to cover it up, you would have
Shouldn't she be calling herself queer, not gay? I can't ever in good faith say that I think anyone should be calling himself queer, so...
to actually try to come up
Oh my god, it went green, white, and purple for a moment. Turf dog whistle.
with something real. You would have to experiment with different things to discover what your actual interests and ideas
I mean, does he not at least understand that if someone's going to come up to you and say, I'm a non-binary gay Gemini liberal, that doesn't actually say almost anything about who you are and what you're like as a person. The only way for someone to understand what you're really like as a person is to be around them and stuff.
are. It would take time,
Real! Like my personality, which is definitely not impacted by my lesbianism.
contemplation, action, effort to
This is not
discover
me
and
being a
practice the things that
lesbian.
actually
This is
make
not
you
me
unique.
being like out of the cardboard box lesbian, okay? This is not me doing that at all.
Haphazardly
Well, how would you know when you're watching like a 5-minute video from someone? How would you know whether this person... I mean, they're literally saying that that's what they're avoiding and telling other people they should consider avoiding is just being a stereotype. But like, how would you know that this person's a stereotype? You're just calling them the thing that they're saying they're not.
clinging to your sexual
There's like blank contradiction. There's like torrent shit.
orientation or gender identity to comprise your entire personality
Has Gunter been anised? Hey, maybe.
is the laziest possible conclusion. I don't say any of this to be mean-spirited. I genuinely think you're capable of
course not.
becoming a much more well-rounded and fulfilled human being, but you've been disenfranchised by both the algorithm and instant gratification.
Unlike you, which definitely you were not impacted by your your raging desire, like your raging lesbian boner for
Did Gunter touch his wife's vagina one time and become soy whipped?
big booty Latinas, right?
Listen, here's my guess. When he was right-wing, he was an incel. He met a very, very mid woman who wants him to become a leftoid, and it's like, well, at least it's better than being on my own. Maybe that's what it was.
Right? You did not let that impact you at all. Not you.
You need a purpose beyond your sexuality. You need some type of mission. This is how people find genuine fulfillment. Having a vision in mind of the person they want to become and then becoming it. But unfortunately, it's easier to change your gender than it is to change yourself.
Then change yours already. I'm sorry. Like you kind of sound like I don't clock eggs. Okay, that's not my thing. I'm not an egg clocker. But you know, sometimes the
Is he transvestigating her now?
Egg just does fit in the container. You know, like, okay, like maybe it's okay that you want to change your gender, you know?
What?
A vision in mind of the person they want to become and then becoming it. But unfortunately, it's easier to change your gender than it is to change yourself.
Then
Oh, okay, right.
change yours already. I'm sorry.
Well, no, she's saying that it's easier to do that, but less fulfilling. So why would she do that?
Like, you kind of sound like, I don't clock eggs, okay? That's not my thing. I'm not an egg clocker, but you know, sometimes...
No, people watch this guy thinking it's like legit like commentary on like trans and gay and like leftist like issues. People treat this guy like he's the next Vorj or the next Hassan. I have no idea why. Just saw a vid of his wife. She's a Hamby. Jeez. Listen, I'm saying nothing, but I'm also, yeah, okay.
Sometimes the egg just does fit in the container. You know, like, okay, like maybe it's okay that you want to change your gender. You know, like, that's fine. It is easy to do. Just do it.
Yeah, but is it fulfilling? Once you change your gender, what are you? Are you happy? You might not be. Then what?
Saying. So yeah, what
happens when you change your gender and that emptiness you were trying to fill is still there? What do you do then?
I keep forgetting her name. Finding Sky. Definitely not a lesbian who lets her sexuality impact who she is as a person. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more.
Now he's sober.
Hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/alecgunterttv/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next.
Looks like Tim Pool. He basically is Tim Pool, but leftist and unsuccessful. There you go, Alec Gunter. And like the worst thing is, people literally watch this guy and just take on his like opinions wholesale. If you say anything authoritatively enough, confidently enough, then people will listen to it and be like, oh my God, you must be right. It's like, well, no. Like the fact that this kind of shit, people listen to this. Love from a Cirrus and Vorsh fan. Cirrus is a retard and Vorsh is a pedophile. There you go. You post this comment a lot. Roasted. Anyway, what's next? Make sure you like the stream.